Yo, what's good, guys? Today we got stuff Americans believe about the UK that is wrong. Now, I tried to do this video before, and honestly, I never heard of any of these myths. They just, I don't know, they didn't add up to me. And turns out that's what the UK people think Americans think they think about them. But a guy in the comments actually linked this one to me, so shout out to you. I don't know if you want your name out there, but you know who you are, and let's get it.
Hey guys, my name is Matthew, and today we're talking about the things that Americans think about the UK that are wrong. As we were preparing to come to the UK, my wife and I were doing tons of research about the culture and the food and what it was going to be like over here. One piece of advice we ran into several times was that you shouldn't wear hoodies or hooded sweatshirts while you're in the UK because it's heavily associated with gang culture and Americans kind of stick out when they wear hooded sweatshirts and things like that. What's funny about that advice is it has not been our experience at all since being here. We've seen tons of people in hoodies.
So wait. Hoodie. So people believe that hoodies are like a sign of being in a gang. How does that work? Like, I get if it's like certain colors of hoodies or even like, you know, certain logos on hoodies, but just all hoodies make you a gangster? Like, damn, bro. Hey, I'm the next Al Capone with my hoodies, I guess. Yo, listen, cops, feds, don't come for me. It was a joke. Don't do it. Please work. Come on, internet. I don't have time for this.
People we work with wear hoodies, people we go to church with, people we just see around in our neighborhood.
Whatever.
Tons of people have hooded sweatshirts on, and it's not weird or slovenly or any of the things that those articles said that it was going to be. So it made us wonder, what other things do people think about the UK that we have not found to be true? This doesn't mean they're not true anywhere or that it couldn't be true. I'm sure that hoodies in the UK at some point did have some close representation with gang culture. I don't think it came from nowhere, but that's not what we've noticed is true in the parts of the UK that we've been in or with people that we know. This list is things that Americans commonly believe about the UK, but they're just not true. Starting really broadly, a lot of people think that the UK is one country. A lot of people maybe think that the UK and England, that they're equivalent terms, and that's not true. The UK is, of course, built up of 4 different countries: Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England, and not Ireland at all, which is another common misconception. Another thing that Americans sometimes believe is that the UK only speaks English. And of course, that's kind of true. You can probably speak English just about anywhere you go in the UK, but if you're in Wales, you're going to find that the signs are actually in another language altogether.
Oh,
in
damn.
Scotland, of course, they speak Gaelic. In Northern Ireland, it's a different form of Gaelic, and it's a different language everywhere you go. Although English can be spoken, obviously, everywhere in the UK. Another thing about language is that Americans a lot of times think they have this great British accent, and it generally is either like some super high, weird Queen's English.
I feel like I was called out there because, man, I used to be trying to do the British accent, man. I used to try it. It wouldn't work very well, but you know what? Like I tried. I ain't even gonna try it right now, but I mean it's on videos somewhere. Damn it, y'all can find it. Come on. I don't have time for this
With
internet.
some
There we
super
go.
low, slurry, Cockney type accent, but neither one of those accents is normally very good, and normally they totally take out this idea that the UK has hundreds of accents. There's so many different ways to speak English and so many different...
Alright, but to be fair, right, you can use a southern accent and you can still be speaking in an American accent, or you can speak in, you know, the accent I speak in. It's still American. Like, oh, there's hundreds of accents, so you didn't get it. Like, that's kind of... Respectful, that one's kind of a cop-out. Like, I don't fully buy that one. Like, if you're good at, say, one of the UK accents, then you can speak in a UK accent. Just because you can't speak in every different accent doesn't mean, like, come on now.
different ways that it changes. Sometimes neighborhood to neighborhood, the accent is a little bit different. And to boil it all down to this one kind of generic bad accent and think that your accent is a good British accent.
I get what he's trying to say. To be fair, I get what he's trying to say, that people think the UK just speaks in like one or two accents when that's not the case. I think that's what he's trying to say. But like, if you can now A lot of people can't do it good, but if you can do it good, then you can speak in a good British accent. Just because you can't do every single accent doesn't mean you can't do it. So I don't know about that. What do y'all think about that one in the comments? Let me know.
Is not really true or fair. A stereotype of people in the UK is that they have terrible teeth. I could really do a whole video just on this one topic. There's a lot to say about the way that celebrities have changed our ideas of what is right and wrong with teeth, and there's a lot to say about all those things. But the reality is that people in the UK have great teeth. Of course, there are exceptions, and you can meet someone who has bad teeth and things like that, but crooked teeth are not necessarily unhealthy teeth. And there's this belief in the United States that you have to fix crooked teeth, but they don't need to be fixed. They're just a little crooked. And so I think that's where some of this comes from, but I've actually seen some studies that say that people in the UK actually have healthier teeth on average than people in America.
Damn.
Look into it, you can find out for yourself. The next belief that Americans have is about the Queen. There's normally people who think on two ends of the spectrum. One is that she's this powerful monarch that can execute people if she wants to, and on the other hand, people think she's just a figurehead. The reality is she's somewhere in between those two things. She does have power. She can veto laws if she'd like to, and she has some powers in war and things like that, but she also doesn't have extreme control like monarchs of old did. Another commonly held belief about the UK is that it rains here constantly. And that's kind of true. I just did a video about like the weather this winter.
That I'll tell you now, that's something I 100% was like convinced of. It's like, y'all weather is trash. Like so is where I live, to be honest with you. Like we got like days that it gets below zero here and it sucks, and I don't want to live in this shithole of a state. But yay. From all I ever hear from British people is, oh, it sucks outside, it's gloomy, it's raining. I'm like, bro, you guys are just constantly, it seems like y'all have like a couple of good days, and then it just goes to shit. That's what I always hear from people. Like, I don't think every single day is just a shitty day, right? But I always hear from people that the weather there is just garbage.
And we had a crazy amount of rainfall this winter. Just a ton of both heavy rains and light sprinkles that just seemed to go on for the entire winter. But you can see now it's absolutely gorgeous outside. It's sunny
nice.
And beautiful.
And
that's actually the way our whole first month and a half or 2 months here was. It was just like this nearly every day. It's been like this for like literally a month, and we haven't seen almost any rain at all for like a month.
Oh, damn.
So it's interesting because Hawaii actually gets more rainfall than the UK. More days of rainfall than the UK. And places like Sydney and Paris both actually get more downfall, more inches of rain than the UK as well, than London, for instance. So it's an interesting bit. It's a weird misconception, and sometimes it can seem like that because of the way the winter is, but it's not actually raining here all the time.
So why do British people complain about it so much? Is it the cloudiness that they don't like? Is it just British people don't like rain? Because, I could relate to that one. Shit, fuck rain. Rain pisses me off. But, like, what is it then that makes British people complain so much about the rain if there are so many places that's not thought of by rainy weather that get more rain? Because the reason that a lot of Americans believe that is because of how much British people complain about the rain. I can't tell you how many British people I've met, like, especially, I used to play a lot of Xbox, like, how many British people I met who just constantly complain about the weather.
2 misconceptions that Americans have about food in the UK. The first one is that all of the food is just potatoes and beef all the time. That it's all super bland and it's all just, like, gray food constantly. There's something to this belief. A lot of the food here is potatoes and beef, and it has a lot to do with what is easy to grow in the UK. But there are so many varied food dishes. There's so many different types of food here. Curry is really, really common. Some people actually believe curry was made in the UK, and there's so many different types of foods and seasonings and flavors to have here. I definitely recommend you get around and try a lot of different foods. Another thing that people tend to believe about the UK is that people just eat all of the stereotypical foods all the time. Things like cock-a-leekie soup and spotted dick, which are both funny names, but also things like crumpets and fish and chips. And the reality is those things are not the...
I think I briefly remember laughing about that name before because I'm very immature, and I ain't looking this up, but can someone please message me what the fuck those foods look like? Because I don't want that on my search history, and I'm afraid of what Google is gonna show me if I type that into my search history. So like, somebody, if you ever having fucking some good old spotted dick for dinner, bro, just pop me a good picture before you munch that shit up, bro. What the? I have the maturity of a fucking 2-year-old. Fuck it. At least I accept
normal everyday fare. The most common food to eat here actually is curry. So the food in the UK is not just the stereotypical things that Americans think of it as. The last thing I want to mention is about the UK and what people think about it in general. In general, the United States tends to think of the UK as like a mini the United States. Like the culture's all the same because we speak the same language, we probably live the same way. And in some ways that's true.
Some truth to that.
Language and culture do go hand in hand, but even the language here is different than what it is in the United States. There's so many words that you can get mixed up in, and
I'm gonna be honest though, right? Before I started, say watching videos about the UK, I always thought the UK was kind of how it was in like Pinky Blinders, like just. I don't know why, but when I thought of the UK, that's what I was thinking of, like big ass smoke clouds and like dry top hats and scars and like. I don't know why. That's where my brain would always go to at the UK. I'm not even so sure if I really had any other thoughts of the UK. That's just what I would think of. Come on.
their definitions change and there's new words to learn. And what that means is that the culture in the UK is also different than the culture in the US. That's what this channel has been dedicated to, is pointing out some of those differences, finding out some of the whys. And so if you thought this video was great, please feel free to search around on our channel. There's lots of different videos about food and the language and the culture, and we have really spent the last year going through all of those differences. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please feel free to leave a comment. Let us know about other things that you might want to hear us talk about as well in the comment section, and we will see you guys next time.
I mean, hey, other than the stupid internet screwing me over throughout the entire video that honestly I don't even have the time to cut out, so y'all just gonna have to deal with it because it really wasn't that bad. This was a really good video. This was a lot better than the other video that I was trying to get. This is what I was looking for in the other video and didn't get. Like, stuff that's like, okay, I see why people would think that. Like, anyway, hey man, subscribe, ring the bell, click all, like the video. You know how YouTube works. And yeah, man, I'm out. Bye. Yeah, man, I'm out.